Welcome back to HOWSTUFFINMYCARWORKS channel. Today's video is about increasing the horsepower output of an engine by installing headers. The video is very simple but helpful, so let's get this camera up close so we can take a peek. Let's get started. Okay, so now that we have a closer view, what I drew here is an exhaust manifold from a 350 engine. And this type of manifold was found in General Motor vehicles for over 4 decades. And what you see here is a header that would fit that engine. So just by looking at the design, you can see already that this is going to be more restricted than a header, because on a header each cylinder has its own individual pipe, so the exhaust can exit as it leaves the cylinders, to where a manifold is not designed that way, at least most of them. So what is a realistic number? So what could you expect by removing the manifolds and installing headers? Well, there's a lot of factors involved, but overall a 5% increase would be realistic when it comes to headers. So let's say you have an engine that has 300 horsepower and you install headers, so that gives you a maximum of 5%. So that would be a 15 horsepower increase. So your engine total output would be about 315 horsepower by the time you were done swapping your restricted manifolds to install headers. Now you also have to realize that not all headers are designed equally. Here you have a shorter style header. It's not a tune header. A full-length tune header would be a better setup, obviously, because what that means is that each pipe is of equal length. So all cylinders will be balanced. To where here you have a shorter one, then longer, and longer. So the back pressure to each cylinder would be different versus a full-length tune header that it will be completely balanced. Sometimes the reason why you cannot install a full-length header on an engine could be due to the space restriction, and then you may have to go with a design like this. And even though it wouldn't give you the same results as the tuned headers, it's still way better than the restricted manifolds. So now if you step it up and you do a full-length dual exhaust system and you combine it with full-length tuned headers, then you could expect gains of up to 10%. So let's stick with the 300 horsepower engine, 10%, that would give another 30 horsepower, so that would be a 330 horsepower. But you also have to realize that the horsepower curve will be on the higher RPM range, probably somewhere around the 4,000 RPM range. And these results, the 10% increase, would be better achieved if you combine it with a cold air intake system that is less restrictive. Last but not least, headers don't make horsepower. Headers enable the engine to free up some horsepower by enabling it to have a free flow versus a restricted one. So in reality, an engine won't have more horsepower than what's already capable of just by installing headers. But by removing the restrictions that are imposed on the engine, it can have its maximum output. So in these examples, the engine was already capable of doing that. It was not able to reach its peak horsepower because of its restrictions.